Hello, hello. Welcome back for day 2 of our texture section. Yesterday we talked about bumpy, sharp, smooth, and rough textures. Today we're gonna get a chance to actually apply those textures to a project. So today we're gonna be making a pumpkin picture, all right? So we are gonna start with a fresh sheet of paper, and I am gonna start with a pencil. All right, so guys, the way to draw a pumpkin, you are gonna start with kind of a rounded football shape, kind of like an oval shape. Oh, it looks like a pickle. It looks like a pickle today in the middle. And then we're gonna make a attached curved on one side, attached curve on the other. And they don't have to be the exact same size. It's okay if they're different. And then this one, we're gonna kind of bump out a little bit more and bump out a little bit more. Okay, now for the stem, I kind of like doing a little bit of an oval and then bringing it down. And then the pumpkin stem can just be part of your lumps up there if you want. Now, just for design-wise, I'm gonna make a little bit of a design in the background to fill my whole paper. So I have something going on here. Okay, now I want to apply my different textures to the pumpkin. So I'm going to start by doing a bumpy texture. And then I want to try and do a sharp texture. Okay, maybe on this one I'm going to do a nice smooth. So it's just going to have some subtle lines. And then over here, I could do rough. So maybe with rough, I'm gonna do a little bit more of the zigzag going on. Rough and sharp can sometimes look very similar. It's all about how you explain why you think it is, what it is. And then I'm gonna repeat again, and I think I'm gonna do some loop-de-loops over here for another bumpy. Okay. Now, I also want to fill my background areas with some different textures. So maybe over here, I'm going to just do some lightning bolts. This would be a sharp. For a smooth, maybe I'm just going to do some small, like puddle-like looking shapes. For a rough, I think I'm gonna fill this with lines. And then I'm gonna do kind of like a checkerboard. Oopsie, I went too far, but that's okay. Erase that right there. And then maybe even kind of like diagonally. So this is what I think of when I think of like a box fan. That's kind of like a nice rough one. And then over here for this section, I think I will just do a nice simple bumpy. All right, so now I have my texture design and it's time for me to start coloring. So I'm gonna use an orange marker and I'm gonna start by outlining my pumpkin. And then I'm gonna trace and color in my designs. So I have my polka dots here for the bumpy. I had this zigzag line for sharp. I had these nice smooth lines for smooth. I had all of these crisscrossy lines for rough, but it also could be a sharp. And then I had these loop-de-loops for bumpy. Okay. I am also going to trace the top of my pumpkin stem. And you know what? I'm going to do some bumpy texture on the stem and maybe just a nice straight line for kind of smooth on top of that. Okay. Color-wise, you guys can color however you want to. I think I'm going to stick with like the fallish colors and go with a little bit of orange, maybe some red and yellow Let's see if I can find a brown. I think I'm gonna work with these colors today. So I'm gonna start by coloring my stem. Just a nice basic brown. And then I'm gonna start with my pumpkin. I can color that in. And maybe I'll switch to some yellow next to it. Which my yellows are kind of getting a little dull. So I might have to do my best with those. Oopsie, I guess I need to find a sharpener. There we go, okay. So color in some yellow. A little bit of yellow here. And then maybe I'll do a little bit of the red out here. So I have a nice fall-like pumpkin going on. And I like pumpkins because honestly, I feel like they are appropriate for September, October, November, and then heck, maybe even longer than that. Okay, so the background, I think I'm gonna come in here with my black today. And I'm going to trace those areas. And up here too, remember I had this rough, oopsie, got some on my table, rough texture design going on up here. And just lots and lots of lines. Again, this is the one I feel like looks like the rough design of a box fan, like a ceiling fan. And then I'm gonna trace my lightning bolt sharp design over there. Trace my bumpy waves over here. And then it's gonna be time to color. So I'm gonna take my brown colored pencil and I'm gonna get to work coloring this area in. And this project is more about the texture designs than color, so you guys can choose any colors you want when you're coloring your projects. With this one, I am looking to see if you guys can do the bumpy, the sharp, the smooth, and the rough textures that I introduced. So this project is about implementing and demonstrating your ability to understand the different texture words and how they would look in a picture. All right. And then lastly, I'll take my black and I'm just gonna kind of come in here. And then color around the top as well. Okay, so there is my finished project for today. This is day 2. This was my texture pumpkin, and I demonstrated bumpy, sharp, smooth, and rough textures that we learned about yesterday from the popsicle project and applied it to my pumpkin picture today. So guys, I can't wait to see your pumpkin pictures. Feel free to add additional textures if you want to, but I'm definitely gonna be looking to see if you demonstrated bumpy, sharp, smooth, and rough. And when you are finished, I will need you to upload a picture or email it to me and I will enter your grade manually that way. All right, thanks so much. Have a great time. I will see you guys next time.